Hello, welcome back. This video is part of the NationGen MagicGen series, which is a MagicGen game, meaning that all of the spells in the game are randomly generated. In this video, I'm going to be looking through the air spells. Let's start in Conjuration. At level 0, right away in combat, an A1 mage can conjure a Black Hawk. 100 cast time, 20 fatigue. Get your Black Hawk. Not the most useful combatants, but there we go. At level 1, you can then upgrade to conjuring a large Black Harpy in combat. Also 20 fatigue. There's a Black Harpy that is somewhat larger than normal. Sounds exciting. We also have a ritual, only one Urgem. An A2 mage can summon Black Hawks. 11 plus 5. Gets you lots of really early patrollers, that's kind of nice for that. Yeah, that's very efficient for patrollers, I imagine. And we can also conjure Simargles in combat as well. 200% cast time. They do fly. But I don't know if they're... I mean, they're a bit better than Black Hawks and Harpies, I suppose. At level 2 we have Storm Power. All A1 mages can give themselves Storm Power at 111% cast time. How interesting. It still requires you to cast it during a storm though. So nothing new there. At level 3 we can conjure Phantasmal Starseers in combat. Requires A2, S2 and 1 Urgem. This gives you 2 Phantasmal Starseers. So at the point in the game that I'm at now, as I record this video, I've seen quite a few Phantasmal Mages. These are Phantasmal units, they have 1 hit point, and they have a bunch of ranged attacks that are supposed to be like Phantasmal spells. And they're all really good. Although I think just summoning 2 in combat for 250 cast time isn't quite as impressive. But even so, it would just be 2 units that's chucking out a bunch of ranged attacks. Be interesting to see what ranged attacks they actually get though. There's also in combat an A3 mage can conjure a student of Nephila, which are A2 mages. That's also really good. Probably better overall than summoning a Phantasmal Starseer. If you're an A2 mage. Pretty good, that's pretty early in the book as well. At level 4 we have another Phantasmal spell. This is a ritual though. So it requires a Death Crosspath and 9 Urgems. Lets you conjure 4 Phantasmal Necromancers. So yeah, they cast false spells that harm only those that believe it. This could be like all kinds of stuff. In the series you'll see a bunch of different Phantasmal Mages, so you get to see exactly what these look like. I'm not sure what Necromancers would do though, because you would assume they'd summon skeletons, so I wonder what their spells look like. We also have in combat... Ooh, at level 4 you can conjure a Massive Air Elemental. Requires A4 and a gem, and a 250 cast time, but that does get you a size 6 early. That's pretty nice. Level 5 then, we have, a ritual version of the Phantasmal Starseers. So 9 Urgems let you summon 6 Phantasmal Starseers. Yeah, these spells are really good. There are also spells in the book that just insta-gib Phantasmal creatures though, so there is sort of a counter to these if you have Penetration. But yeah, lots of Phantasmal Mages. But yeah, again, they have ranged attacks, not actual spells though. And Windride's in the book as well, so an A4 mage with 7 gems can do Windride. If you've ever wanted to see the full description of how that spell works, there is some nice yellow text for you. Level 6 then, in combat we have an A3 mage with a gem can conjure Massive Air Elementals, that's a plural. Wow, 2 size 6 earlies for just 1 Urgem, 125 cast time, that's very nice. That's very nice. That's pretty early in the book as well, relative to the how good that is. Yeah, that's great. You've got mages, yeah, you're gonna shit out big earlies. Oh, there's also a ritual version as well. A4, 10 gems. You can just summon 4 size 6 earlies. Damn, that's sick. Yeah, that's really good. And there's also what looks like a global as well. So an A5 mage with 50 gems can cast Portals of Air. In each friendly land province with a lab, there are 3 independent chances to spawn 1d6 random creatures. Oh, this is like the global that I tried to put up in Astral. So it summons a bunch of stuff out of labs based on how strong your Dominion is. So we have size 5 Shocking Earlies, size 3 Stealthy Earlies, Were Griffins, Phantasmal Mages, Phantasmal Wolf, Phantasmal Druids, Springhawks. That's pretty good. The most common is actually size 3 air elementals as well, which isn't bad. Yeah, that's nice. It's only 50 Ur gems as well, and it's pretty early in the book too. Level 6. Seems like a nice one if you've got lots of air magic. You might as well cast it. 7. This is the one I've seen a lot of in the series, so you will see these guys a lot. A3, E2, 12 Ur gems gets you a Flying Phantasmal Geomancer. This one scales as well, 10 plus 1. Phantasmal Geomancers are very good, you'll see these a lot in the series. They throw around a lot of boulders. We also at 8 have an A5 mage can do a ritual to send tiny air allies. 10 Ur gems. Attacks a province with 28 size 1 air elementals, plus 5 per level. They attack everything in the province, including friendlies, and then disappear. Interesting. And level 9, the big spell, is in combat, an A2 mage with 2 gems can conjure 12 plus 1 phantasmal hydromancers. Interesting. Yeah, it's hard to rate these spells just looking at them because, yeah, I don't think I've seen phantasmal hydromancers, so I'm not sure what range attacks they have. But you get quite a lot of them for just 2 gems. Interesting. Alteration next. Let's see. So 0, conjure a phantasmal wolf, 200 cast time. We have conjure large phantasmal warrior. That's interesting because phantasms usually have 1 hit point, so I guess a large one still just has 1 hit point, but it's size 3 or whatever. Maybe it has a little bit more strength, I don't know. Funny. An electrified body. So an A2 mage can spend 2 turns to do an AoE 1 charged body. Might be useful. Level 1, an A1 mage can do illusory bonds. So range 25 plus 5, 100 cast time, AoE 6, what is this? False fetters, I think it's called. Basically, I always get all these different spells confused. I'm sure they all work slightly differently, but I don't know. All the sort of bonds of fire, false fetters stuff, the kind of root spells. Yeah, the one. Okay. It's a nice spell anyway. We have an A2 mage can do group missile ward in combat. This takes 2 turns to cast, but it's AoE 4 air shield. Also pretty nice to get early. If you've got a little mage block at the back, you can just give them all missile ward, keep them safe from arrows. And then an A3 mage can spend a gem to do course group aim. So this is going to be Wind Guide in an AoE 19 plus 2 for a gem. That's pretty good, because it's very early. But anyone affected by it will be stunned if they fail a magic resistance roll. So that's quite funny. So if you desperately need plus 5 precision, and you're willing to risk being stunned, you can spend a gem very early to do that. That's only level 1, that's pretty cool. Level 2 then, lots of A1 spells. So we have Mirror Image for the caster, 100 cast time. Pretty nice. We have Conjure Phantasmal Archer. Probably more useful than Phantasms generally. Only 10 fatigue as well. And Conjure Shocking Phantasmal Beast. Phantasmal Beasts have like 4 attacks, so they can be pretty good even when they are Phantasms. 200% cast time though. But pretty cheap to cast. And since it's shocking, weapons that do not already have secondary effects are made magical and inflict 5 armor-negating shock on damage. So since Phantasmal Beasts have 4 attacks, that's probably pretty good, right? If I'm thinking of the correct monster. I could be thinking of the wrong monster. But that sounds like then they do 20 points of armor-negating shock damage every battle turn. Maybe. Sounds interesting. Also, an A2 ritual requires 3 Ur gems, lets you just summon Phantasmal Warriors. 18 plus 7 scaling. Lots of Phantasmal Warriors if you want them. 3 then, we have Wind Touched Resist Lightning in combat. An A3 mage can spend a gem to do 125 cast time. AoE is 21 plus 3. Shock Res. And then if you fail a magic resistance roll, you also get Air Shield. That's a pretty nice buff. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's a big AoE. Shock Res and Air Shield, why not? Only 1 gem, pretty early in the book as well. At 4 we have Illusory Group Air Shield. So AoE 4 and it lingers for 4 turns as well. And this is Air Shield with Mirror Image if you fail a magic resistance roll. Although this magic resistance roll is difficult to negate, so that's more likely to go off. Yeah, nice buffs though. We can have shock res, air shield, and mirror image on all our troops. We also have a ritual to do phantasmal archers. Requires A2 and 3 gems. Gets you 10 plus 4 phantasmal archers, probably pretty useful. Wind guides in the book. So plus 5 precision for all friendlies for a gem. And we have Winds of Productivity. Is this a global? So A5, only 35 gems to cast. Yeah, global enchantment. Every turn, each friendly province has 3 independent checks to be affected. Each chance is rolled individually. So 12 per point of dominion for 3 times, 6 per point of dominion 3 times, and then 3 per point of dominion ongoing for every province. And it is 10% more tax. Not bad, I suppose. I mean, it's very early in the book, and it's very cheap to cast, so if you can put it up early, you might as well. Slightly more gold coming in. Why not? Level 5 then, in combat, an A1 mage. You can do Conjure Phantasmal Archers, 50 cast time, 2 effects, 10 fatigue as well. If you really want to spray out some Phantasmal Archers, you can do it there. Show it doesn't scale. Yeah. We have Air of Sustaining. An A2 mage can spend 7 gems to do a ritual that permanently gains Gift of Water Breathing for 100 size points. Nice. So very easy to get underwater if you are an Air Nation. And a ritual to summon Phantasmal Knights. A3, 3 Air Gems. Scaling is 6, so 30 plus 6 per level Phantasmal Knights. That could be pretty nice if you just want a bunch of ethereal junk in the front of your army. You can pretty easily get out lots and lots of those. Level 6 then. A2 mages can conjure large phantasmal beasts in combat. So that is a lot of them as well. It's 200 cast time, but you get 9 plus 1 per level phantasmal beasts. And they are somewhat larger than normal. Very spammy. You probably use that with, well then again, 200 cast time, maybe not. I'm gonna say a mage might be able to solo take PD provinces with a spell like that, but I don't know, a bit long cast time. We also have Conjure Phantasmal Knight in combat though. Ah! This one's even better. This is 100% cast time. 9 plus 1 per level. Phantasmal Knights. Yeah, I can imagine solo raiders using spells like this. You can also do, for 3 air gems, you can do Electrified Illusory Chains. That's a very big AoE. So there's range 35 plus 5, 125 cast time. AoE is 68 plus 9 per level, so very big scaling as well. And this is the False Fetters effect. But it also does shocking damage. Well, 1 point of damage, unfortunately. But even so, it's armor negating shock damage. That's pretty nice. It's very expensive to cast, but that would hit like... That's a good one to dump on a big army though, because you're going to root a lot of stuff and spread out a bunch of armor negating damage as well. Seems pretty cool. It's fairly early in the book as well. We also have Send Phantasms. And A4 Ritual requires 7 air gems. Attacks a province with 55 Phantasmal Wolves. Plus 9 per level. Creatures attack everything in the province, including friendlies, and then disappear. Interesting. And finally, an A5 mage can spend 2 gems to do Shackled Army. The entire battlefield, including friendlies, it looks like, are affected by, yeah, the False Fetters effect. Interesting. 7 then, we have Shocking Encase in Ice, an A3 mage. This has 5 fatigue cost and a 10% cast time. So that's extremely spammy. Range is 30 plus 5, AoE is 1. And it is something that encases you in ice and does 1 point of shock damage. Oh no, this doesn't have the cap damage. So this is just 3 points of... Oh, it's armor piercing, not armor negating, okay. So it's not quite as good shock as the other spell. But still. That's very spammy. That would really disrupt advancing formations. You'd be just putting random blocks into ice. And also doing a bit of damage on top if they've got no... Well, I don't know, I mean, 3 points of armor piercing damage? It's really not gonna do much, right? I'm not sure. Especially since Encasing Ice gives you protection, right? Targets are encasing ice for 4 points each. For 4 points, each point grants plus 1 protection. Each time the number of points is reduced by strength, okay. Yeah, I don't know, interesting one anyway. Let's go on to level 8. An A4 mage can do Illusory Army for 2 Urgems. The entire battlefield, all friendlies get Mirror Image. Oh, that's pretty cool. 175 cast time. Might as well cast it if you can. And there's also, this is a big one, so it requires A5 and D3, and 5 Urgems. Vampiric Shackled Foes. So this only affects enemies, and I assume it's False Fetters plus a Life Drain attack? And the Life Drain is armor negating. That's really cool. But that's going to be really hard to cast. Interesting, the second effect does hit friendlies, it looks like. So that's something to be aware of. Although I wonder if it would only hit... Well, I don't know, because it says it already affect the entire battlefield, so no, this would go off anyway, wouldn't it? Yeah, so you'd Life Drain all your friendlies as well as the enemy, but you would only root the enemy, I think, from what I'm looking at. I could be wrong, though. Cool spell. And what's the big one at 9? Let's see. Requires A4 and 2 Urgems, and you can do Unerring Blessing of Storms. That sounds like... Oh, no, I'm trying to guess, what would an Unerring Blessing of Storms be? Shock Res and Precision, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, it is, okay. So all friendlies get... So it requires 2 Urgems, 175 cast time. All friendlies get 10 shock resistance, which is pretty nice. And then if they fail to resist a difficult magic roll, they get +5 precision as well. Well, that's pretty cool. Only A4 and 2 gems. It's not bad if you need some shock res and precision, why not? Evocation next. Let's see. So 0, we have Charge Foe. Range 50, 100 cast time, affects 1 person, 10 precision bonus. Does 1 point of armor negating shock damage, max 1 point of damage. And then also applies Charged Body. Those affected by the jolt become charged, unleashing electricity on both themselves and the next person to strike them. That's really funny. I don't think I've seen Charged Body used offensively before. But yeah, if you have shock res, I guess it makes sense. That's pretty funny. And static shocks as well. Range 30, +5, 100% cast time. 1 person affected, but it fires 6 + 2 effects, so pretty good scaling. But it's just 1 capped point of armor negating shock damage. Those affected by the spell will suffer a very minor electric shock. Not bad though, it's 0. Level 1, Shocking Thunderous Touch. So this is a short range attack. So range 3, 25 cast time, AoE is 1 and it's guaranteed to hit as well. 4 fatigue cost, very interesting fatigue cost. So it does stun, and then if it hits you it also does fear, and then it also does a capped 1 point of shock damage as well. So that's not bad if you ever actually see it get cast. Level 2 then. A3 mage can do Static Cloud. That sounds cool. So range is 30 +5, it's 200 cast time, AoE is 4 +1 per level, -1 precision. Pretty cheap to cast. And it's a lingering cloud that does ongoing armor negating shock damage, although it's capped at 1 point of damage. So it lasts for 4 rounds for a total of 12 activations, so I guess that's just 12 points of armor negating shock damage if you stand in it the whole time. Sounds pretty good. Nothing 3, at 4 we have Lightning Bolt and Thunderstrike. Sounds pretty classic. So Lightning Bolt is fixed 50 range and 50% cast time is nice. Affects 1 person, precision 1, fatigue cost of 3. 12 plus 2 points of armor negating lightning damage with an additional AoE 1 point of armor negating shock damage on top. Pretty nice if you can actually hit people with it. What about Thunderstrike? The big version. So range 50, 200% cast time unfortunately. So AoE 1, 26 plus 3 points of armor negating damage with an AoE 6 additional shock. Very nice. 5 then we have Storm, an A4 mage can spend a gem to put up Storm, same as in vanilla. And an A5 mage can spend a gem to chill battlefield. So this strikes the entire battlefield, including friendlies, with 16 plus 2 per level points of armor piercing cold damage. It is then capped at 1 point of damage, interestingly. But also does fatiguing chill. So this is 10 points. 10 plus 2 points of armor negating cold fatigue damage. I guess that's interesting if you've got cold res on your own dudes. It's only one gem. It's kind of hard to cast there. You're probably not going to have lots of A5 mages. If you did, that would be cool to kind of spam in the early part of the game. Yeah, bit hard to cast there. At level 6 we have Orb Lightning, an A2 mage in combat can do a 50 range, 200 cast time, AoE 2 Orb Lightning. It does 5 plus 2 points of armor negating shock damage. It chains 5 times, that's pretty good. Kinda slow to cast though, but pretty good. Lightning Bolts. So this is Lightning Bolt, but you cast 2 of them it looks like. Still 50 range, 50% cast time, number of effects 2, and then yeah, 12 plus 2 damage with the AoE 1 additional shock. Pretty good. And Thunder Strikes. Ooh, this requires a gem. This might be pretty cool. Let's see. So that is 125 cast time, AoE 1, number of effects 5. So calling down 5 Thunder Strikes for a gem that have an AoE 6 additional armor negating damage. So that's pretty cool. How was that? That's only A3, so you're probably going to have lots of A3 mages. You could probably do quite a few of those in the early part of the game. You go up Evocation first. Probably pretty good. Wrath of God is also in the game. Another global that I really hate when it goes up. A5, S4, 70 gems, Wrath of God. Well, it's there. Hopefully no one casts it. Level 7 then, an A1 mage with a gem can do Leaping Discharge. Range 50, 125 cast time, fixed AoE of 4, 1 precision. So that's 3 plus 2 points of armor negating shock damage that chains 5 times. That's pretty cool. I'm not sure exactly how AoE effects that chain work. Is every unit that's hit across all 4 squares gonna chain the damage 5 times? That doesn't seem correct. Maybe it is though, I don't know. That'd be pretty crazy if it is. Yeah, I'm not sure how chaining works with AoE effects now that I think about it. I really don't remember. Oh well. I guess if we see it in battle, I'll try to pay attention to it. There's also Unending Chain Lightning. An A5 mage can spend 2 gems to do, let's see. Okay, so this is range 50, 350% cast time, okay. It's AoE 1, takes 2 gems, it does 11 plus 2 points of armor negating shock damage that chains 51 times. That seems pretty interesting. Yeah, I don't really, I mean, how hard is that to cast? It's A5 and 2 gems. I have to assume that if you drop this spell into an army a couple of times, that's going to kill quite a few things, right? That would be... The lightning will pick a random target within a radius of 1 square, if there are any. If there are not, it can travel up to a total Euclidean distance of 2. Not sure what that means exactly, but... Sounds like it'll spread quite a bit, as long as there's at least something more or less adjacent. It'll just keep chaining 51 times. Be interesting to see that one going off in combat. Level 8 then. A1 mage with a gem can do Static Cloud. That's a very big cloud, so that's an AoE 25 plus 5 per level cloud that lingers for 4 turns and does the max 1 point of armor negating shock damage. Pretty cool. Charged Blast, an A1 mage with a gem can do, so this is AoE 7 plus 1, and then it does the chaining armor negating damage. Damage is 3 plus 2 per level, chains 5 times. Yeah, lots of big chaining attacks in a... speaking of which, here's an A3 mage can do Chain Lightning. So AoE 4, 200 cast time though. Damage is 7 plus 2 per level, armor negating shock damage that chains 5 times. Yeah, tons of chaining lightning damage. And Wailing Winds is also in the book as well. So A3D2, 3 gems, you can put up the Wailing Winds battle enchantment. Very strong. Level 9 then, the big air evocation is of course, I assume, going to be a big chaining attack. There were Fountains of Lightning in the last NationGen game, I remember they were very, very good. I remember getting obliterated by them actually. So if you have A4 and 2 gems, you can do Yeah, lingers 9 times, chains 6 times. AoE once. This is going to put down a big ongoing lightning bolt effect. It just sits there for 9 times. And if you go near it, the shock damage will chain to you. Damage is 7 plus 1 per level. Armor negating shock damage. Chains 6 times. Yeah, that's very cool. Looking forward to seeing my armies getting wiped by that one. So there we go, there's Evocation. Construction next. So at level 1 we can summon corpse constructs. Pretty typical. 3 gems gets you 8. I can't remember what the spell in the base game is. You can make items that give you additional corpse constructs as well though. 5 then we have summon corpse construct reanimator. So A2D2 and 18 gems gets you an A2D2 mage. Oh, okay. Can also additionally have a level of air or death though. I guess if you only have A2D2 mages, it could maybe get you an additional level. The corpse constructs has skill in earth and water, and sometimes also fire magic. Okay, something has gone wrong here with the description on this spell. But I think because it's a corpse construct reanimator, the second bit of white text should say something about why it's reanimator. I'm not sure actually. Well, something wrong with the description anyway. There we go though. Be nice to get A2D2 mages for 18 gems, I suppose. In combat, an A3E2 mage can conjure aware gargoyle sculptors. So a gargoyle sculptor is an A2E2 mage that also has unsurroundable 5. You get 2 of them. I mean, 2 mages for an gem isn't bad. If you're going up construction early, maybe something to rely on while you get your items getting forged. We also have an A4 ritual for 45 gems, Avian Castle Construction. Constructs a castle for you. Pretty nice. I've seen quite a few of these spells so far in the different schools that summon a castle for you. Quite nice. Alright, 7 then. A1, E1 and a gem lets you do assemble seasonal watches in combat. That could be pretty cool, right? Watches are really powerful. Watches are those things that usually guard thrones and just obliterate people, right? They have the like lightning swarm attack or something. Resulting watches are difficult to kill and are able to blast enemies at light. Yeah, they're really pretty good units, aren't they? Although I guess if you've gone up construction 7, I don't know, that'd be interesting to deploy kind of early if people aren't expecting it. Because I'm pretty sure watches are like really, really good units. Like really hard to kill and they do a lot of damage. I could be wrong though. Watches are changed in JBBM. I haven't played like a vanilla game in ever. So I can't remember exactly how good watches are, but I'm pretty sure they're brutal. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're brutal. Oh, there's also a ritual to construct watches as well. A2, E2 and 11 gems gets you 5 plus 1. Maybe I'm misremembering. I'm pretty sure watches are like incredibly strong. It could be good spells. And at level 9, what have we got here? A3, E3 and 40 gems gives you a possessed stone monster. The caster summons a stone monster sculptor to serve him. The stone monster has great skill in earth and air, and may spend a month to produce lesser stone monster. I'm not sure what a stone monster is, but I mean, sounds pretty good if it's an A3, E3 mage. We also have improved construct watches as well. A3, E2, 12 gems, gives you 16 plus 2 per level watches. Sounds pretty good, I don't know. What else we got? Enchantment. Quite a few things here. So, level 0 we got, what, 5 spells? A1 mages can do Haste of the Wind, so AoE 3 Swiftness looks like. We have Course Resist Lightning. So 200% cast time, but it's AoE 8 plus 1 lightning resistance that also stuns you if you fail a magic resistance roll. We have Group Flight, that is very early. Level 0? An A2 mage can spend a gem to do Flight in AoE 9. Pretty nice. A2 mage can do Protective Force in combat as well. 200 cast time, gives you 20 points of Protective Force. And Group Airfen too. So AoE 7 plus 1 Air Shield. Pretty nice level 0 buffs if you ask me. Level 1 though we have Cloud of Insulation. An A1 mage can do an AoE 1 Lingering 4 Shock Resistance buff. Very nice. And Protection from Shocks. 10 shock res for the caster. 200 cast time though. Level 2 we have improved protection from shocks. 10 shock res for the caster, 100% cast time. Nice little upgrade. And improved group flight as well. So cast time 100, AoE 5. What was the other one? Oh, this took a gem and this one doesn't. Okay, so yeah, this is AoE 9 but takes a gem. This is AoE 5 and only 55 fatigue. Not bad. Level 3, an A3 mage can do Seeking Arrow for 4 gems. 8 points of armor negating damage, plus 0 per additional caster level. Interesting. Looks like there's some upgraded versions later though. Level 4 we have Falsify. This is an A2 ritual, requires 3 gems. While the enchantment lasts, spawns 10 d6 illusory units in the targeted province each turn. Each of these illusions increases the number of units seen by scouts by 50. The illusions disappear after 1 turn. Well, that's a pretty cool spell. If you really want to scare somebody, I guess you can spend some gems to do that. AT Mage can also do improved Haste of the Wind in combat, so swiftness in AoE 21 plus 3. We have Storm Attunement. This is an A3 ritual. Requires 2 gems. The caster permanently gains Storm immunity, allowing flight in storms, removing the precision penalty, and preventing the double fatigue cost usually incurred by flying in rain or snow. I mean, that's cool. If you have air mages that are flying around doing thug stuff, you might as well cast that. It's only 2 gems. Give yourself Storm immunity. Probably pretty useful actually if you do have an earth thug. Perfection of Thought. I've used this a bit. So A3 and a gem. Basically just anti-magic. So more magic resistance for all friendlies. Pretty good. And Enshrined Rain of Diamonds. So an A5 mage can spend 35 gems to... Oh, put up a global enchantment. Okay. Looks like it generates gems. Quite a lot of gems. Every turn, each friendly province with a temple... Oh, okay. Only in temple provinces. Has, yeah. 10% chance per point of dominion 3 times, 5% chance per point of dominion 3 times, and then 3% chance per point of dominion in every province. You get 1d3 gems. That's probably pretty good, especially if you're spamming temples. Level 5 then. A3 mage can do advanced group flight in combat. So this is a cast time of 12, and an AoE of 16 plus 2. So very early to give all of your army flight pretty quickly. It might be good if you know that you're going up against Earthquake or something. I wonder if you cast... If you cast Flight on somebody in 12% cast time, you're going to be able to fly onto them before Storm goes up as well, right? Unless there's a Staff of Storms in the battle. So yeah, quick flight spells are probably pretty useful in that sense. Yeah. And also Mist of Deception. So an A5 mage can spend 2 gems. Put up Mist of Deception. Lots of phantasmal monster spam. Level 6 then we have Wind Touch Protective Force, an A3 mage in combat can do... This is a 10% cast time, AoE 5, only 10 fatigue cost. And that is Protective Force plus Air Shield if you fail a magic resistance roll. That's a nice little combo of buffs. Not bad. It's very cheap as well. I mean, all your A3 mages can just spray that on people pretty easily. Now we have a A3 ritual for 8 gems to do Concealment. The target province appears to have 9,999 fewer units in Scout reports. This takes effect for units that move into the targeted province in the same turn it was cast. That is really cool for keeping your armies hidden as you move them onto the border. Oh, it scales with gems as well. The effect lasts longer if more gems are used to fuel the spell. Oh wow, so you could just put Concealment over all of your border provinces and then move your army into them and they'll be hidden. That's great. I wonder how smaller Scout reports has been implemented as a enchantment. Or maybe it hasn't, maybe it's like doing some weird stuff with events spawning monsters, I don't know. Interesting anyway. Now then, A4 mage with 6 gems can do improved Seeking Arrow. This is 12 points of armor negating magic damage, plus 1 per caster level. That is going to kill some people. And an A5 mage with 2 gems in combat can do mass flight. So 350 cast time, the whole battlefield gets flight. Pretty slow though, I think you'd probably rather just spam the little ones with some mages. I guess this is the backup to make absolutely sure everything gets flight in the end. Level 7 then. In combat, an A2 mage with a gem can do advanced protection from shocks. So AoE is 16 plus 2, 10 shock res. And Foggy Mass Missile Shield. An A3 mage with 2 gems can... Oh, that's nice. So the entire battlefield gets Air Shield and Mistform. That's really good. That is a great buff. Only 125 cast time as well. Yeah, pretty easy to cast too. Only an A3 mage. A3 mage and 2 gems, everyone gets Air Shield and Mistform. That's sick. Oh, it is MR negates on the Mistform though, damn. A lot of these secondary buffs always have the MR negates. Yeah, even so though, I mean... Well, Mass Air Shield's good, and then, you know, some people getting Mistform is good. Your lowest MR unit is probably the junk you have in the front. So the junk you have in the front will be more likely to get Mistformed, I suppose, which is probably pretty good. Level 8 then. In combat, an A5 mage with 3 gems can do Safeguarding Group Missile Shield. So this is AoE 27 plus 4 Air Shield. And then Extra Swirling Debris is the secondary effect. Creatures in the area when the spell is cast can make a hard MR check. Failing this check grants Protective Force. Okay. So more Missile Shield with secondary effects. And also what looks like a global. An A6 mage with 110 air gems can do Crystallizing Skies. This is another air gem generating global, 96 gems. So if you're heavy in air, I mean you can put up lots of gem gens. There is no level 9 spell in Enchantment, interesting. Let's look at Thaumaturgy. Very short. So nothing at 0. Level 1 we have Steel Breath. Yeah. 200 cast time, 5 precision, affects 1 person. 40 plus 5 per level points of armor negating fatigue damage. I have tried using the vanilla version of Steel Breath in a game. Not very successfully. It's kind of hard to hit people with regular precision spells that affect 1 person. They tend to just miss. Level 2 we have Improved Steel Breath though. Same sort of thing. Is that just shorter to cast? Yeah. So from 200 to 100% cast time. And then Theft of Breath. We've now gone to AoE 2. Slightly more likely to hit things at least. More fatigue attacks though. 4 specs is in the book. An A2 mage can do 2 air gems to look for air sights. We have nothing at 4 then. 5 we have Tamed Air Currents. An A4 mage can spend 11 gems to increase the range of air rituals by 4 provinces. Pretty nice. Nothing at 6 then. Level 7 we have Mass Breath Theft. An A4 mage can spend 2 gems to do that one. Wow, okay. Well, you know, that one's not going to miss. So the entire battlefield is hit by 55 plus 5 points of armor negating fatigue damage. MR negates easily though. This does also hit friendlies. Yeah. How hard was that to cast? A4? I mean, you could have a bunch of mages spamming that. That would be quite funny. So that was Mass Breath Theft. And then there's also Mass Asphyxiation, so this is slightly harder to cast. Ah, okay, this is just direct damage. So 175 cast time, entire battlefield gets hit by 15 plus 1 points of armor negating magic damage. MR negates easily. Also hits friendlies. Yeah, I can imagine like a bunch of really high air mages just spamming these 2 spells, just crippling armies, that'd be pretty cool. Here's an interesting one. An A6 mage can spend 53 air gems to do Stormforged treasures. Very particular number of gems. This is a global. This enchantment affects all friendly provinces within the caster's dominion. The common populace may be harmlessly struck by lightning, converting a mundane item they are holding into a magical item. Grants a random non-national construction 0 to 4 item. Well, that's pretty funny. Triggers per point of dominion. I guess if you want a bunch of low-level construction items, that might be kind of fun to put up. It might not be hugely useful all the time, but I mean, 0 to 4 includes some boosters and stuff, right? And I suppose it would also grant you items you couldn't usually forge. So that might actually be pretty good. There is also just a lot of junk in 0 to 4 though, so you might just be pulling hardwood clubs out of your treasury every turn. Who knows? I would definitely put that up if I could though. That would just be worth putting up just to see what you get. Funny one. At level 8 we have Improved Suffocate. A2 Mage can... So still Precision 1 unfortunately, but this is AoE 8 plus 1. And it's, yeah, 11 plus 3 points of armor negating. Magic damage, MR negates. Doesn't affect breathing things. And level 9 we have Stormy Transformation. So an A2 Mage with 2 gems can transform themselves? No, what is this? Let's see. This might take some investigating. So first up we do Stormy Transformation. 200 cast time, AoE 1. Not sure what that does. It then does Released Power, which does 999 damage, AoE 1, okay. Which then does Embodiment of Storms and Remove Fatigue and Embrace Mortality. Okay. Ah, okay, I think we've seen a spell like this for, was it Fire? This spell is the last resort of the Mage. Upon casting the spell, the mage's body and anyone standing immediately beside him, right, that's because this is AoE 1, are ripped asunder by the magical power released, causing the mage to instead appear as a being of elemental air. His ability in air magic is greatly increased, and he becomes very resistant to fatigue. In this state, he will quickly wither and die should he survive the battle. Additionally, his ability to cast spells of other paths is diminished. Transforms the caster into a spirit of unbound storms, inflicts decay and soulslay, and removes all of the caster's fatigue. The spirit has homesickness, spreads unrest, is useless for forging, rituals and researching, and gains a horror mark every turn. In exchange, this form boosts the caster's air magic by 1, while lowering all other paths by 1. Additionally, the spirit has 50 reinvigoration, and casts spells at double speed. Any items held by the caster are dropped as if the caster died in the battle. Additionally, applies Twist Fate, Swiftness, Mist Form, Storm Power, and Blood Surge. Anyone who is not the caster in the same square is killed by the released power. The spell will not be cast unless scripted. Yeah, very cool concept for a spell. Like it. And that's pretty easy to cast in combat. If you're at Thaumaturgy 9 and you are losing, might be time to just nuke all your mages and turn them into godly air allies. Very nice. And anything in blood? Nothing in blood. So there is the spellbook. Thanks as always for watching. Hope you enjoyed listening, and I hope you're enjoying the series. Let me know in the comments below what you think of the air spells. And that's it. I'll see you back in the series.